We're going. Hey, we're recording. Welcome to another episode of Profusion. We've got the Matt Arroyo here. If you haven't known him, now you will. Matt, what's going on, man?
What's up? How's it going, brother?
Good. So yeah, Matt and I, we haven't seen each other in a minute. So Matt you were in the UFC, correct?
Yes. Yeah, I was on the Ultimate Fighter reality show from 2007, and then I got a contract with the UFC, and I fought for a few years.
So what's crazy is like we knew each other before that. Were you fighting? Were you doing any sort of martial arts?
I started right as I met you. I started jiu-jitsu in 2003 in Tampa. Yep. We both went to UC.
So you literally, okay. You didn't start when you were a kid. You didn't do any fighting as a kid.
Baseball when I was a kid. Baseball. Tried playing baseball for UT, and then after I stopped playing for UT, I decided to join the fraternity where I met you.
Right.
And right around a year later, I started jiu-jitsu in 2003. I wrestled one semester in high school, and that was it. But I didn't like it. It was like it wasn't realistic enough for me.
Is that common in that I know sports like baseball that's like super uncommon. Like you hear, oh yeah, he became a professional athlete, but he started at age 14. You know, like that's sometimes the latest you ever hear. Is that more common in jiu-jitsu or is it?
No, I mean normally people have been training most of their lives and at least late teens and on. But I was always an athlete and I've always played sports. Baseball, basketball, football. I'm an athlete. So, when you're an athletic person, you could pick up things that you like and pick it up pretty fast. So for jiu-jitsu, for me, I fell in love the first class. I was like, this is it,
So, yeah, I mean, you're not getting hit. Well, you don't get, do you get hit in jiu-jitsu or not?
No, jiu-jitsu is
MMA, right?
MMA. Yeah, MMA, you get hit. In jiu-jitsu, it looks like wrestling, but instead of pinning the person, you put them in a submission hold, they tap out. So we could do that full force. Like I was just out there full force, and you tap them out and restart again. And then, full force. You don't have to worry about, if I went full force with punches and kicks, you're getting hurt. Like people are getting hurt. So I love jiu-jitsu because you can do 100% output. It's the best cardio ever. And you're actually learning each time and you don't have to get hurt.
Yeah. So, I mean, can you like mess somebody's arm up or something or like?
Yeah, I would say the first 2 years of jiu-jitsu, you got to learn when to tap and when to just fight. But if I got like this and you're pulling my arm, I'll fight to the death. But the second it's extended, it's a quick tap. And you could yell tap, you can slap. And people who are purple belts and above rarely break each other's arms or legs because we know, okay, I got you, dude. I won't even pull it, because I know I already got him.
So yeah, that's an arm bar, right? That you were showing.
That would be an arm bar, but there's also knee bars and ankle locks and wrist locks and shoulder locks. So it's all the same. Elbows don't have much give, but shoulders, someone that could put this behind their head and they're not going to tap because they're flexible. I don't know anybody that has many flexible, elbow joints.
So arm bar is a good move, though, right? I don't know. It's a great move.
It is.
Why is that? Because you can break the arm if you wanted to, or is it just
my whole body on your one arm, and I hold the wrist to my chest, and my groin is right under your elbow. So I raise my hips through your elbow, and it just hyperextends. It's a quick tap. It's respected. Like no one's going to sit there and let their arm break in an arm bar.
Got it. So like if you were in a street fight, you'd potentially break the arm or tell them to calm down.
Exactly. You could extend it and say, dude, with 1 inch of thrust on your elbow, it's pop, shut, like give up. Like, like they'll know, they'll feel it. They'll usually start screaming.
We needed you in all those fights in college, but you,
dude, when you graduated, I was in those fights in college. Freaking Chris Mitchell is all I got to say.
I do not know that story. Do you remember the fight at Gasparilla with the USF football player? Do you recall that one?
I don't know if I was there for that. I think that was a year before I joined. I joined the fraternity in 2002, 2003, I think.
That was the craziest fight I'd ever seen in my entire life.
I heard about it. Yeah, I heard
it was the craziest fight ever.
Really?
And there was okay, so you learned this in college. And what brought you, like, how'd you find it, or did it find you, or how did that happen?
late high school, first year of college. It was before UT. I went to a different college. I transferred to UT. I went to Blockbuster and I rented the first 5 UFCs. Blockbuster, and I watched it and I saw this skinny Brazilian guy named Royce Gracie destroy everyone with this art that nobody knew except him. He was fighting karate guys, taekwondo, kung fu, Krav Maga, wrestlers, judo, and he destroyed all of them by taking them to the ground. And I was like, amazed. I watched it like 20 times. I'm like, this is incredible. But my focus was so much on baseball. I wanted to be in the major leagues. I was like, I'm going to the major leagues. I can't do that right now. I got to focus. So I focused, tried that. It didn't work out. And the second I quit the baseball team at UT, I thought, it just flashed in my head, jiu-jitsu. Like I had it on the back burner in my mind, and now I could finally devote the time. And that's when I went home for one summer of 03, and I Googled jiu-jitsu Albany, which I was from upstate New York. And dude, Royce Gracie had an affiliate school 20 minutes from my house. He was actually going to be there that Saturday teaching a seminar. The odds of that, because he only comes like once every couple of years, was like crazy. So I immediately called, said, hey, I'll be there. I drove there. I actually got a ticket on the way there. I drove there, so excited to meet Royce Gracie.
Slow down. What were you speeding?
Yeah, I know. I told the cop, like, yeah, I was like 85 and a 65. Got the ticket. I was like, can you hurry? I'm going to be late for this seminar. I went. I get there. I see Royce Gracie. There's like a light shining on him. In my head, anyway. I'm like, oh, my gosh, it's Royce. He's right there. And they let me borrow a gi. I put the gi on. I get out into the mat, and I was just pestering him. I'm like, next question. I didn't let anybody else ask any question. I asked him every question I could think of from watching those UFCs. And I did the class, and I was just hooked, man. And I was like, this is it. I don't know if I'm going to do this for a living. I don't know if I'm going to fight. I had no desire to do any of that. I knew I wanted to become a master at this. Yeah. That's how I started 03, 20 years.
Where are you from? What is your background?
So you mean like nationality?
You look Brazilian.
Oh yeah, Italian and Puerto Rican. Yeah, that's where I'm most.
You look Brazilian.
Yeah, no, I could definitely pass for Brazilian. Yeah, and a lot of people have said that. But upstate New York is where I grew up and trained. And then when I came to Tampa, there was nobody. There was one black belt, and this was in 03. One black belt, and he was in Clearwater. I didn't have a car, so I'm like, shoot, what am I going to do? So I found this guy, this purple belt, which is like the second white, blue, purple, third belt up. And I found him. He had this little club of like 20 guys. It was right next to UT. So I'm like, all right, I'm going here. So I did that for a year. And then the call that changed everything for me and my career and my life was the guy that I was training under at that Royce Gracie seminar in Albany called me and said, hey, there's a guy coming. His name is Rob Kahn. He's a black belt under Royce Gracie. He just got his black belt 04. And he's moving to Tampa. He's going to open up a gym. He's like, you got to train there. I'm like, all right. I call Rob. He had just moved down. He had this little office space with a mat down. There was only 4 of us. And I went the first day. And dude, at this place I was training at, the Purple Belts place, I was pretty much tapping everybody after like a year and a half of rolling. And I went here. There was 2 old guys, a young guy, and Rob Kahn. So the old guys were probably in like 60s, 50s. And they were old to me. I was only 20, 22 or whatever I was at the time. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to destroy this old guy. Maybe I should go easy. And dude, he freaking lit me up. I was like, come on, really? Tap, tap, tap. I'm like, this is insane. So I go to the next old guy. I'm like, he's dead. Boom, tap, tap, tap. And then I go to the old guy's son, who's like 28, jacked. I'm like, he's going to kill me. And he killed me. And then I finally get Rob Kahn. And I was like a shell. I'm like, just freaking take me. Armbar, guillotine. And then he let me work. He just started messing around. I'm like, all right, he's cool. And after that day, I was like, all right, there's a fork in the road. I can go this way or this way. I can go back to that Purple Belt Club and whatever, beat everybody up, or I could just get really good here. And it was like a 1-second decision. I was like, oh, man. So yeah, I joined there, and the rest is like kind of history.
Yeah. Oh, this is a first. Hey. Oh my God, this is embarrassing.
Get it, dude. Get it.
Hey. Wow. Yeah. So you went from UT. What year did you play baseball at UT?
I played 01, 02.
01, 02. That was like freshman and sophomore?
Yeah, but I did my freshman year at this college in New York. I played baseball there. It was called Morrisville. It was by Syracuse. Did that, transferred over to UT, and played there for the year. So it was be like the 01-02 season, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, and then 02 was when after I quit baseball and joined the fraternity.
What position did you play in baseball?
So I played outfield for the longest time, and then when I went to UT, I decided to and I also pitched. So I decided what's the quickest way to the major leagues, and it's pitching. And I decided to just do pitching. So I played as a pitcher. I didn't throw hard enough though. Like my roommate, they put me in with this baseball player roommate. His name was Corey, and it was his freshman year, and he's like, yeah, I throw 96. I'm like, oh shoot, okay. I was like at 86, but I had some good junk, so I thought maybe I could hang. And these guys were blasting me, man. It was so discouraging. I did long toss. I lifted weight. Everything you could possibly do to make your arm stronger, I did. And then when I talked to this one kid, I don't know if you remember him. His name was Eric Beatty. He was like the star pitcher for UT at your time, like 2002, 2003-ish. I was like, dude, what could I do to get – he threw like 96. I was like, what could I do to get my arm stronger? He's like, I'll be completely honest with you. He's like, I was born this way. He's like, I was always throwing hard. He's like, I didn't do anything really to make – I had that tendon in whatever that is, that tendon that makes you throw hard. That's what – and literally that day, I'm like – because it was like a year of me just trying, and I was like, all right, I'm good. It's not going to happen for me. So I stopped, and literally the next week I picked up jiu-jitsu.
86 is still pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad. Unless you're like Greg Maddox, who threw like 85 and still was able to strike everybody out. There was only one of him. Everybody else was in the 90s. So I just kind of just did like a analysis. I'm like, all right, if I keep doing this and it doesn't work, 4 years of college and it doesn't work out, I wasted like the social life of college that was so fun, and doing other things because it's 6 a.m. practices. It's rough, man. Like you can't go out too much during the season. You got to play all year if you're going to be any good. I don't know. Maybe it was either that or I didn't see the vision wasn't there. It was gone. It was gone.
Yeah. So I mean, we talked before the show, and you don't train kids, or do you train any kids?
Me personally,
you have a studio in Tampa.
Yes.
That's called, what is it called?
Greasy Tampa South. It's 9,000 square feet. We have like between 500 and 600 students. 400 something of them are adults, and there's like 100 something kids. And I have an awesome coach named David Canis. He teaches the kids. He loves it. He's really good at it. He's able to control them all. I have 3 kids at home, so I got enough stress, man. I don't need to go in here and do that all day and be stressed, So yeah, he does a way better job than I would do, and I'll admit that. And I love teaching adults, so I teach the adults twice a week. Monday and Tuesday night I teach, train, and then Thursday, Friday I just train with my students without teaching. So I do 4 days.
Do you have any advice for my son? He wants to fight. What kind of advice would you have for like a parent, I guess, who's
okay? So he wants to fight, like he wants to be in the UFC someday, or he wants, if that's the case.
I don't think he knows what UFC is. He just wants to fight.
You got to show him one UFC card. There's one Saturday on ESPN, and just see what he thinks when he watches that. Okay. If that's what he wants to do, my advice would be, don't go too crazy, because at 5 years old to 18, when you're allowed to fight in the UFC, he's going to burn out. So well,
I don't want him to fight in the UFC.
I don't want my kids to either, right? But if that's what you want,
I don't want my kid. Like, did you get hit in the head?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But like, that's not
good. I got a brain scan after my fighting career was over, and luckily it's good. I don't know how. Yeah. I didn't get hit much, but
I guess as a parent, you're like, oh, if it's me, yeah, whatever, I'm tough. You know what I mean? Right. Like, oh, I'm a bad motherfucker. I can handle a hit to the face. That's nothing. Yeah. But like when you're a parent, you're like, no, don't hit my kid. You know what I mean?
Nobody wants their kid to get hit in the head.
Yeah, it's a different perspective.
So my advice would be to do jiu-jitsu, which you don't get hit in the head. If he becomes a specialist at jiu-jitsu and wrestling, the striking can come later. I mean, you could probably do private lessons with striking somewhere. That's what I would do. And just have him do once or twice a week private lessons hitting mitts where he's not getting hit. And then jiu-jitsu and wrestling full force. Like all the great fighters come from a wrestling background. Most of them, I should say.
Wrestling or jiu-jitsu?
Wrestling. Yeah, because the takedowns are the hardest thing, because if someone's really good at takedown defense, it's hard to get them down, right? And if you're really hard to take down. So whether you're a striker or a grappler, if you're a striker, you're going to need the wrestling to keep it on the feet, because if you're a good striker, people are going to want to take you down. So you're going to have that defense. If you're a jiu-jitsu guy like I was, I had to have good wrestling to get you to the floor. So wrestling's the equalizer. Like I can control where it goes. If I want to take you down, I can. If I'm losing on the feet, I take you down. So wrestling would be really important. And then pick a specialty. And I would say jiu-jitsu, especially if he's 5 years old, that means he's going to be starting school. If he hasn't already, there's going to be bullies. You don't want to blast the bully in the face.
He comes home, he goes, I need to learn. I'm going to do jitsu on my bully.
Yes, dude. And I highly recommend, once they start reading, like probably 6, 7, they start reading really well. There's these awesome books I had my son read. It's by Jocko Willing, and they're kids books. It's called Warrior Kids. It's a 4-part series, and it teaches all about jiu-jitsu and the bullies and how to handle them and how to be in shape and all the stuff we learn as adults to make our life better. It gets it in them early, which is awesome.
It's interesting you say wrestling is the kind of the foundation, because my daughter does dance. She's pretty high level for her age, and ballet is the foundation for all the other genres above, and like that's kind of the platform, and then above and beyond that. I didn't know that about jitsu.
Yeah, well, about MMA. So if you want to be a fighter, you got to have the wrestling. Jiu-jitsu, you could just lay to your back and let someone come in between your legs, and you could put them in 50 submission holds. You could be fine. That's why every woman should know jiu-jitsu, because the rape position is what we call the guard position, and we have a million attacks from there.
Yeah.
And if a woman knows that and she's comfortable there, like,
I agree, because my 5-year-old, they put him on a girl, and I'm like, bro, he's like on top of the girl, you know? I'm like, he doesn't know what's going on, obviously, you know? He's like,
yeah. The cool thing is I have a 10-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 4-year-old, and they've all been training since they were 3. They're all at the gym. So when they look over and see another person on top of another person sweating all over them, they're just like, they don't even look twice. They're like, this is normal. And when they're on top of someone, they're not uncomfortable. Like, it's uncomfortable at first. Yeah. So like, it just desensitizes that, awkwardness. So, and hey, when someone grabs you to fight you, they're going to grab you. And now if you've been training over years and years and years diligently, you're not going to think. You're just going to throw them over, get the position, and then you think later, like, holy crap, my body just did that, because that's all it does. Like,
is there like do they name moves? I guess arm bar, they do.
Yeah, there's names for every move. And I can't tell you how many of my friends who are in their 50s who have daughters who are going to college this year, this past summer. My daughter's going to college. Can you give her lessons over the summer to keep her safe? And all I think is, dude, it's too late. Like, you missed the boat. But I say to them, yes, I will teach her some stuff, but you should have put her in at 6.
What kind of move would the girl want to learn?
The triangle choke. Every girl needs to learn the triangle.
That's enough, do you think?
No, you need to train so that when someone grabs you, you're not terrified. If they learn the triangle choke and you repped it every day for 5 years, it's just second nature. You get in bed with your wife, she puts you in a triangle choke every day, and you just rep it. That could be, beginning of something cool. But either whatever, you just let her rep it. Then, if a guy gets you in that position, she's going to just do it. But the whole game, you need the whole game. Like, you have to be comfortable. Like, we have a black belt named Erin. She's been training since she was 6 years old, not with us. She's 28 now. When I roll with her full force, it's a tough battle. Like, it's a match. If I do something wrong, she's taking my back and choking me. Like, it's real. If someone tries to assault her sexually or whatever, I have no worries that if she went to college somewhere, like, I would feel bad for the guy. Like, it's almost impossible that a guy could do something to her. I say almost, because if she gets hit hard, maybe, from behind, she doesn't know what's going on. But if you face to face, you grab her, like, good luck. And that's what I want my 2 daughters to be like good luck. And if they do decide to go to college, which I'm not recommending, but if they do decide to go to college, they'll be fine. It'd be scary. You know what I mean? That's what I want.
You don't want your kids to go to college?
If I had the choice I would never say don't go to college to any of my kids, but I never once in my life in 10 years of being a parent said you should go to college. Never once. It's not as needed as it was back then. And I could teach them marketing and sales and help them with business and all that. And I just don't think it's necessary anymore. Unless, of course, you want to be a lawyer, a doctor, or something that requires college. I don't think you should go figure yourself out in college. You could do that in the workforce. Like, it's an expensive way to figure out what you want to do for 4 years.
Well, in some of these colleges, if you go to like University of Pennsylvania,
what's that?
Like if they go to Wharton, you know what I mean? That's like,
oh man, how much is that?
Yeah, but the people who go there, like half of them become billionaires, right?
So I got you. Okay, yeah, I got you. Okay, something like that, maybe, yeah. But how many are how many Wharton people? You know what I mean? Like how many you have? 100,000 kids. How many get into there?
I don't know.
I don't know the stats, but yeah, I mean something like that. If you're just a genius or whatever, or you got that, I get it. But I'm talking about the average human being, the regular people. Like, yeah, I don't know. I tell them to follow what they enjoy, which is what I did, and it's worked out. And I have a great lifestyle. I don't, not 9 to 5 in anybody or anywhere. I don't have to be anywhere anytime. Like, I got my time and money. So, and I'm doing what I enjoy. Like, I've owned the school now for 17 years. Like, I'm just as excited to go to class now as I was 17 years ago.
So, yeah. So 17 years in business, that's highly, that's unique, right? Most business owners fail in a year or 2 or 3 or 5, or they sell, right?
Mm-hmm.
17 is a long time. What do you think is, the key to sustainability and success? Because we were talking, you're doing nicely there.
Yeah.
And so
yeah,
how do you, in that industry or any?
So for me, it started with a love for jujitsu, right?
Yeah.
And that's what brought me into the business. So just like anyone, like you talk about it in the E-Myth Revisited book, Betty, who does cakes, she loves cakes. She freaking loves it, right? So she opens a cake business because her friends make such good cakes. You should open a cake business. Oh, you're so good at jujitsu, you should open a martial arts school. It's not always the case, by the way, but I did it because that's true. I do love it, and I would want to do this every day and get paid for it. That would be just a bonus.
Yeah.
So what I had to do was quickly I realized 2 things. Number one, if there's something you love and you want to hate it, you should do it every day and teach it every day because you have to. Like, I was starting to not like it. I'm like, man, teaching twice a day, every day, mopping the mat. I didn't outsource anything because no money was coming in yet.
Right.
And then later I realized, okay, I think 2 days teaching for me is the sweet spot. And that's what I eventually want to work towards. And then the more money came in and started marketing and sales. And then you kind of do it when you want to. That's kind of like how to keep your passion for things, in my opinion. And then number 2, you have to take the passion for the thing, whatever your thing is, and transfer that or add in addition to that a passion for sales and marketing. Because if you don't have sales and marketing and systems and business systems and learn and grow yourself.
What is more important, sales or marketing?
Ooh.
To your business?
Oh, I don't mean any business. Well, it's kind of the same.
Or any.
Damn, that's a great question. If you have great marketing and 1 million people show up to your door and you have crappy sales, you'll still do okay with the market. So I would have to say marketing. Getting eyes on you and getting enough people in there where if you have crappy salespeople, you're still making money. But then sales at the end of the day would be great because if you don't have great marketing and you only have 100 people that come in a month and you're a great salesman and you sell 95 of them, you're still doing okay. So they're kind of like brothers, but I would say marketing would have to be the key because you can get the mass where nothing else really matters. Both is awesome. But yeah, so once you learn that stuff and you can transfer your passion for what the thing is to growing a business, and most of the people that I see that start gyms and businesses, they can never really, like chiropractors, oh, I love healing people and this and that, but you don't know business, so you're going to be out of business, so you're not going to be able to heal anybody. So transfer the knowledge, read the books, join the masterminds. It's so crazy how many people will pay $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year for college, but then a mastermind for 15 grand a year of someone who's a freaking multimillionaire who's done exactly what you want to do. You won't pay them. That's too expensive. That's crazy thinking to me. And that's what we're conditioned. And
so what 2 or 3 books do you recommend?
Okay. So my 3 books that I love that I recommend to everybody are Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Think and Grow Rich, and The Compound Effect.
All right, hold on. I'm going to go after you a little bit. Okay.
Great.
I don't want mainstream.
Okay.
No Think and Grow Rich, no Grow Dad, whatever. Compound Effect, is that Darren Hardy?
Yep.
Okay, I'll give you that one.
Amazing. Darren Hardy.
You got another one or 2? More non-mainstream.
No, mainstream. Let's see. Yeah, that's mainstream too. 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing.
I think it's 21.
21. Okay, that one.
Okay, that one's not. That's a little less mainstream, but yeah, that's a good one.
I'm looking at my bookshelf right now.
Your stack.
Yeah. Oh man, you got me on the spot. That could have been one I could have prepared, but Let me think.
What are you reading right now?
Right now, I've been rereading a lot of books right now, but I'll tell you my read list for 2023 that I've already read.
How many books a year do you read?
Between 30 and 40.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. My goal this year was 40. I'm at like 32. So I mean, I got a month left. And I listen to books a lot too. So like the ones where I don't have to take notes, I'll listen to while I'm working out, while I'm driving. The ones where it's like dense, all right. So 2023 books read. The Gap and the Gain by Dan Sullivan.
Yeah,
That was pretty
he's
good.
great. Dan Sullivan's great.
Delegation by Dave Ramsey. Principles of Success, Ray Dalio. Who Not How. That was awesome.
Yes.
I enjoyed that.
You're a Sullivan guy. I like it.
Oh, okay. So Buy Your Time Back. That's the best book I've read in 10 years.
Haven't read it yet, but
okay. So that guy joined his mastermind. His name is Dan Martell.
Yeah.
So Buy Back Your Time.
Yep.
I put it up there with Rich Dad Poor Dad and all the other mainstream ones.
Yeah.
Amazing. Follow him on Instagram too, because all of his stuff is fire.
Yeah, he's solid.
Yeah. Frequency, which is a Christian book. The Go-Getter, I reread that. It's pretty good. It's like a book this thick, and I have all my employees read it. It's like how to get what you want, really.
Yeah.
Understanding Women, Productivity Hacks. Tipping Point was awesome. Malcolm Gladwell has a bunch of great books. I like his Outliers book. I think that's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
The New 1 Minute Manager, How Rich People Think, Take the Day Off. That's another Christian book. The Bro Diet. Sleep Smarter by Sean something or another. Think Your Way to Wealth, Napoleon Hill.
Mm-hmm.
The Way of Man, that was awesome. Money Hacks, The Entrepreneurial Roller Coaster by Darren Hardy. If you're an entrepreneur, I highly recommend Darren Hardy.
I think that's a free one too on Audible.
Yep. Family Board Meeting, if you have kids, that's like a book this thick, but it changes the game in your brain of having board meetings with your kids. Pretty cool. Raising Men, Not Boys, Outwitting the Devil.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Win at Work, Succeed in Life, The Perfect Day Formula, Family First Entrepreneur, The Magic of Thinking Big is what I'm finishing right now on Audible.
That's a fantastic book. I read that book I try to read it once every few months.
Dude, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's
really
outdated. It's like if you're making $30,000 a year, you're killing. It's like from the early 1900s, but it's amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I read every year. I go to seminars every year in my industry, seminars outside of my industry. I join mastermind groups. It's the only way, because if you're not doing that, you're just going by your own.
I like to say the more you spend, the more you make.
Absolutely. Invest in yourself.
It's crazy. And I didn't do it for many years. I didn't hire mentors. And I just started reading in the last 5 years. It's out of control. I have an insatiable reading appetite too. It's crazy.
Yep.
But yeah, the mentorship, the masterminds, just people who are doing better than you, get in their proximity. And quick, we got a few minutes left. You said you trained Dave Bautista, who's like one of my, I never knew his name, but he's like, every time I see him, I'm like, that dude's just cool. Right? He's just a bat. He's in Guardians of the Galaxy. He's the big dude. You train him, right?
He lives in Tampa, and he's the coolest celebrity I've ever met. If you want to call him a celebrity, he is a big celebrity. He's an A-lister now. And, I said, dude, how do you stay so normal? He said, because I don't live in LA. I live in Tampa. Right. So he goes home to Tampa. I see him last year was crazy. Like he must have filmed five movies. He's in town for a month. We train, we hang. And then he goes away for 2 months. Then he's back. And then he goes away for a month and a half. And he's back. It's like, it's crazy. One time he filmed for 2 months. He came back for a week and went back out to film another 2 months. Hardest working dude I've seen. And people think it's just acting. It's not just acting. That stuff is hard. It's not easy. Grueling days on the set. Like you're there.
So your moves are on the big screen.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, they don't like
the truth, dude. It's the truth. That's for real.
Yeah. They'd rather punching and kicking on the big screen, but yeah, he's put some people in holds and stuff like that. But he was a purple belt when he came to me, so he had already had some good skills. But great guy, humble as hell. You go to his house, anything you need, it's like, dude, you need this, you need that. Like he's just a gentleman, an awesome guy. And,
where's he from?
Happy to be his friend. DC.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what did he just roll into your shop one day?
Weird story. I competed against So he was in jiu-jitsu a few years before I met him, and he was with a group of Brazilian dudes and other grapplers that went to this jiu-jitsu tournament that I was competing at. And I went against their guy. It was like they call it the super fight. So it's just one-on-one. It's not, I don't have to fight after that. And we go against each other. And this guy puts me in this leg lock. And I'm like, oh, crap. I start spinning out, spinning to get out. We go out of bounds. The ref grabs us both and yells, stop, which means we're going to reset. I stop. The other guy doesn't. He freaking pops my knee.
Oh.
I was so upset. But I knew I had a few minutes left before this thing blew up. I walk back to the center of the mat. I get in my stance. I'm like, let's go. And the guy's like, nope, I win. He puts his hands up. I win. And he walks off the mat. And this was Dave's guy. And I'm like, wow, like I really want to punch him in the face right now. And I should have. And I really wanted to, because everybody in there was booing him. There was like 200 people there. Boo, boo. Anyway, I see Dave Bautista in the stands. And he's watching this whole thing. I knew he was with him. I knew of him from the WWE. He hadn't really been acting yet at that point. And whatever. That was just another day. So years go by. 2 years go by. I'm at LA Fitness. I'm lifting weights with a buddy of mine. We see this guy who looks familiar, but I don't quite recognize who he is. And one of my friends like, maybe that's Dan Bilzerian. I'm like, yeah, it looks like it. Whatever.
Is he a Tampa guy? Is Bill Bilzerian a Tampa guy?
No, but it just looked like it. We knew he was a celebrity. We didn't know who it was. So we're like, whatever. So I go to my car. I'm done. I put my bag in my trunk, and there he is, right next to me. He had a Jeep or something. He was putting his bag in his trunk. And I look at him. We lock eyes, and he goes, "Are you Matt Arroyo?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "It's Dave." I'm like, "Dave," and I couldn't put anything together. And then he's like, "Dave Bautista," and I'm like, "Oh!" Now I knew it. A million memories of he had a gym in Tampa, this and that, WWE. And then we started talking, chit-chatting. He said he just closed his gym down. He's going to start doing the acting thing. He did he filmed Guardians of the Galaxy. He thinks it's going to be big, this, that. And he's like, I need someone who could help me, and I can't get injured because I got to do this acting stuff now. So I have to do private lessons. I got to do, small group stuff of people you trust. So we just exchanged numbers, kept in touch. When he was in town, we trained, this and that. He took us to premieres he rented out the Cine Bistro, invited all of us to like his movies. And it was just really cool. Just a great guy. And we trained and do cold plunges together and stuff like that. And
dude, I love his voice. He's awesome, dude. He's such a cool fucking actor, man.
Yes. And he's even cooler in person. He's even a better dude in person.
Yeah.
So
is he as big on TV as in person?
He's actually trimming up now. So he's like 240 now, where I don't know if you saw Knock at the Cabin, but he was, man, if you want to see an acting masterclass, he might get an award for that. Like he had a great performance, but they bulked him up to 300 pounds. So after that, he's like, I'm disgusted. I want to get back down. So he's like 240 now, trim, always the huge traps and shoulders, 6'2", 6'3", just a big, teddy bear, to be honest.
So who wins that fight, you or him?
Man, I don't know. It would be a tough fight. Yeah, he's got the power. He's got the wrestling.
He's out of your. Do they have weights and?
Yeah, he's a heavyweight.
All right, Matt, you're in. What is Gracie Tampa? Gracie
Tampa South. You can follow me on Instagram if you guys have any questions about anything or you need help with anything.
Matt Arroyo, UFC. Hit me up. Send me your cell.
Yeah, Instagram /Matt Arroyo MMA. And Gracie Tampa South if you're in Tampa, and mattarroyo.com just to check out what I'm doing.
Thanks, brother. We'll catch you later.
Thank you, my man. Appreciate it.
Yep.